Growing up without a parent severely impacts children. It affects their self-esteem and it creates difficulty forming relationships. It could be a father, it could be the mother. Personally, I did not grow up with my father or any knowledge of my father. And we know kids can be cruel unintentionally. And even our society in itself, we're going to be given labels when people don't understand what we're about, when we look different than what it's supposed to be. Like in my case, they can term you or label you a bastard. And possibly it's not from a place of hurt, it's just that's the word they know. They don't understand the depth of how derogatory that is to you and how you could carry that along in your life. You can either be called a bastard, called illegitimate, called unwanted. And these are all things that impact our self-worth. We mix up origin with someone's origin with who they are. That is something our culture does continuously and it impairs our self-worth as a people. I am Ashley Kusianga. Welcome to Tea. Let's get into it. Guys, as you know, I am walking my God-given mandate to speak healing, to bring light into these conversations that we have termed taboo topics in our communities. We're here to empower each other to talk about these much needed conversations that need to be had in our communities. So if you think about somebody, if this resonates with you, please share it with them so we can bring more Africans into this much needed conversations. Thank you so much for being here. I do not take you for granted. I am so excited and a little bit scared for this conversation because it really cuts deep, you know. But from the beginning, we knew we're not going to talk about light conversations. It wasn't just going to be on the up and up. We're actually going to target things that are very detrimental to us. Things are very impactful to us as people. So just bear with me. Pray for me. And I'm praying for you too. And I pray that we all come out of here a little bit more healed, a little bit more open, and a little bit more worthy. And we feel chosen and seen because we really are chosen by God. And worth, I can, this topic piggybacks from the conversation from last week because we spoke about our worth in God last week. And this week we're still going to talk about our worth, but based off of our origin, based off of the things that the labels that society places on us that limit us because of how we were born, things we had absolutely no control over, the shame that is placed on us. Thank you again for being here. Now let's have this much needed conversation. All right, guys. So, like I said, I did not know who my father was growing up, and you know that matters. It, for many different reasons, which we're not going to go into, but it matters. It's a good thing to know. It's a good thing, and when you feel out of place, when you feel different, Those are all things that shape you as a person. It shapes how you view relationships with men and other people. It shapes your confidence. It shapes how you show up in the world. And those are all things I learned. There's some things I unlearned. And I know there's some shame around it for a lot of people because there's so many circumstances that people are born into that do not look the norm. And those are things that people have to deal with in many different ways because it's not something that our culture welcomes. It's not something that it talks about. It either mocks us, shames us, guilts us, or pushes us to the side, rejects us. And we expect well-rounded people when our community does this to its own. It's just things that have been done for so long that we don't understand the impact of these things, of what it does to our kids, what it does to kids who become adults, and even adults who get older. We just keep repeating the cycle. Some people do not know their father, do not know their mothers. Some were born out of trauma, incest, rape. Some were born from side relationships, have been rejected by one side of their families or both sides of their families. Some were abandoned, had to be raised by others. So many different scenarios that are questionable, where our origin is in question. And this brings on a lot of shame because people will tell you, oh, you ruined your mother's life. You're not supposed to be here. You were never meant to be born. No, these are actually things that we say out loud. These are things that are questionable, these are things that are hurtful that we say. Guys, seriously, these are the things that we say out loud. Because whenever we just go through the motions, we don't understand. So you're hearing it from me. Does this make sense as something that another person should say to another? It almost feels like when you come from this background, it disqualifies you from respect. It disqualifies you from dignity. It disqualifies you from love. That's almost what we infer because we reject the people in our society that this is their background, something they have absolutely zero control over. But we punish them. We basically say, oh, because of the actions of your parents or a parent or, the circumstances, you're not allowed in our community. You're forbidden. You're forbidden fruit. So just go to the side. We're not going to interact with you. Something they had absolutely no control over. In Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. You are not what happened to you. Please hear me clearly. Your story did not start with pain. Your story started with God's intentionality. God chose you. He knew you before you were born. Like before, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. You were not born by accident. You were born for God's ordained purpose. I truly need to repeat this so that we remember. It's going to take some time for you to to familiarize yourself with this because you've been told so much different in the past. God chose you. You are not a mistake. Whatever happened before you got here has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with you. You are chosen, you are worthy, you were ordained for a purpose. So it doesn't matter what anybody has called you before, it doesn't matter what anybody has spoken over you, it doesn't matter if they told you, oh, you were unwanted. You were very much wanted. And the funny thing is, we always think that when this happens, when our backgrounds are questionable, it takes us out of the game. But God does not need culture's permission to use you, to bless you, to choose you, because to deem you worthy, because you were worthy even before. You being a child of God is what makes you worthy, not what society or culture terms for you to be worthy. You don't have to deserve your worthiness. You are worthy in your own. Honestly, if you did not watch last week's video, our worth in God, you need to. Because it really helps. I'm not going to go into how we know our worth and all of that because I already did in last week's video. So please watch that. If you really struggle with your worth, please watch that video. It really helps and it really gives a lot of these things language that we struggle with. It provides us knowledge because it is this lack of knowledge that puts us in trouble. As I was saying, we think questionable birth origins disqualifies us from the equation. But no, actually, God uses the what society terms the disqualified to show his power. Those are the people he typically prefers. Look at King Solomon in the Bible. Yes, we're going biblical. How did he come about? His origins started, his parents started from adultery, murder. That was his beginning. Adultery, murder, the death of the child that preceded him, and then him. God used him, set him apart, blessed him so greatly with wisdom, with wealth, made him a chosen people. And you're telling me that because maybe you were born out of a marriage. I'm not saying that is right. However, I'm talking about you, the product of that. There is nothing, you are not wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. It doesn't disqualify you. If society has made you believe that, you have to start unbelieving that today. Let's look at Jephthah. Oh, no, I don't know how to say it. I'll put it in the description. Jephthah, the son of Gilead. He was born out of marriage, out of wedlock. His brothers, this is in Judges 11. His brothers, his family did not want anything to do with him. But they went back to him. He was victorious in the Lord and saved Israel. And he was made the leader. He ruled for 6 years, I believe. He won the victory. Like God used him, even though he was termed unwanted. Let's look at Moses. Moses was abandoned because of the genocide that was going on in Egypt. He was raised by the Egyptians, but he was purposed to save and bring out the Israelites from Egypt. That's someone with a questionable birth story. Let's look at Joseph. Joseph was hated by his brothers. He was hated so deeply by his brothers. They sold him into slavery. He went to prison, everything. But he was purposed by God. Let's look at Rahab the prostitute. She was a prostitute, but she became saved and was actually part of Jesus' lineage. And we like to make it seem like people with questionable past are beyond saving. Even look at Jesus himself. Jesus' birth story is questionable because I'm telling you, if Jesus was born in our culture today, I doubt how many of us would believe that Jesus is Jesus. He was born of a virgin. We're going to be like, sure. We're not going to believe that story. So there's going to be a question about, okay, who's actually his father if it's not Joseph, right? We would let that cloud the fact that he is the savior of the world. So it's so interesting that these are the people that God chooses to use, he chooses to partner with. But we as a society, these are the people that we reject. These are the people we deem as less than. This is something about God. God is not limited by our perception, by society's perception of us. He doesn't care how our story starts. He actually uses the unlikely to show off. That's who our God is. So I'm telling you right now, if this is you, if you are one of the unlikelies, and I pray that we could stop actually putting people in those boxes. We can see people for who they actually are and not define them by what they had no control over. God can and will use you if you choose to partner with him. Don't let society tell you different. Don't let society convince you. Don't let the enemy convince you that you are unworthy, because you are so, so worthy. Guys, to my fellow Africans, to our communities, I want to implore you, I want to plead with you. Stop calling children mistakes. Stop telling kids, oh, you were a mistake. You're not supposed to be here. As who? Who gave you that authority? Who told you you get to decide who comes into the world and who doesn't, or who is supposed to be here and who is not supposed to be here? Who told you that God did not know of your circumstance before allowing them to still enter into this world? It's not up to you. You're not the decider. What you can do is show love, compassion to people facing circumstances like that. That's what you should be doing. Instead of judging, love. Stop defining people by their parents' actions. We really need to do that. We really need to see people for who they are. We need to stop telling children they ruined your parents' lives or they ruined your mother's lives and things like that. Those are very, those are things that stick and are ingrained. We need to uplift, we need to love, we need to show compassion. We need to separate origin from identity. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21. The tongue has the power of life and death. So what we say over our children, over ourselves, it matters. So we need to use and choose our words wisely, guys. It matters what you say. So we need to think about what we say, and what we say, we need to know that it matters and it sticks. What experience are you trying for this child to have experience to know are you trying to have them know how valuable they are, or to make them feel like scum? To you who feels unworthy, I understand. I get it. It sucks. You don't fit the mold. You're different. People made you feel like you should not have been here. You're an inconvenience. That's how you felt, right? Wrong. You should you shouldn't believe that. You felt it. Well, here's the thing. Don't believe it. You need to choose what you're going to believe. You need to stop apologizing for being alive and for taking up space. You don't need to apologize. You were meant to be here. If God let you happen, then you were meant to be here. So take up space. Stop overperforming to make up. You don't have anything to make up for. You deserve to be here. You were supposed to be here. You need, don't shrink or pull yourself back. Don't hide. Don't try to be like, oh no, I don't want to be seen, because you don't feel worthy, you don't feel deserving. No, no. You are deserving of everything good. Honestly, if you did not watch last week's video of your finding your worth in God, please watch it if this is you. It's going to be so eye-opening. Huh. Psalm 199 verse Psalm 139 verse 14. I told you it's an emotional conversation. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. No, let's say it again. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are not a mistake. You are deeply, deeply loved by God. You are deeply loved by God. Please believe that. You were born for a time such as now, such as this. Walk in your God given purpose. Trust that God knew why He wanted you to be here. Forget about what society is saying, what society has termed you, or what society has labeled you as. If they've told you you're not valuable, do not believe the lies. Because what that tries to do is keep you in a box so that it limits you, so you don't set out to be what God ordained for you to be in the earth. And what you are is beautiful, fearfully and wonderfully made. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are marvelous in the sight of God. It did not say some, it did not say those who are born in the correct circumstances. It did not say some. It applies to all of us, be like the children of God. That is who it applies to. And you, just for being you, just for being created by God, as a child of God, if you so choose, but He's open to you, He's open to receiving you in His arms, to letting you rest and abide in Him. So choose yourself like God chooses you. Take that bold step to believe what He believes about you. Don't let the lies that have been told you stop you from knowing who you are in God, from knowing your worth, and for you to understand that you were born for a time such as this. You are not a mistake. You are chosen. You are specifically chosen by the Creator, the ultimate one. Not some, not no, you. All of us are capable of being chosen if we choose to partner with God. There is a choice. So are you going to make that choice? Or are you going to keep believing the lies that the enemy tells you? The lies that society has placed on you? The shame, will you keep letting that weigh you down, or will you take a step of faith and choose to believe what God believes about you? Romans chapter 8, verse 30. And those He predestined, He also called. Those He called, He also justified. Those He justified, He also glorified. Where people see scandal, God sees destiny. Where society sees scandal, He sees destiny. Where society sees shame, God sees a vessel He can use. While others see illegitimate, God sees chosen. You are destined. You are a destined vessel that if you partner with God, He will choose to use. Please believe that. Don't let shame, don't let guilt that isn't yours put you out of sorts. Don't let that stop you from fulfilling your God-given mandate on earth. Don't let that stop you from living the life that you were destined to live. Don't let it stop you. Romans chapter 8, verse 30 again. And those He predestined, He also called. Those He called, He also justified. Those He justified, He also glorified. You were born on purpose, for purpose, with purpose. Please do not believe any different. I beg you. Step into who you are, that God created on purpose, for the purpose He created with His purpose. If you get that, I promise you, you're going to show up different. Your gut feelings, because that's what I call it now. It's a gut feeling. When you know who you are, you don't let society tell you different. They could try, but you're so confident about it that you don't believe the lies because those are what they are, lies. Guys, this has been a really great conversation to have. It's been healthy to have it. I am so grateful for you being here. Honestly, if this resonates with you, you think about somebody, share it with them. Let's bring more Africans into these conversations because they are so necessary. I am so grateful for you being here, and I do not take you for granted. I will see you 1 week from today. I love you so much for being here. Thank you. Now, let me go take care of that girl that keeps screaming. Thank you so much, you guys. Please believe you are worthy. Believe God had purpose for you when He created you on purpose. Don't forget it. Trust God with all your heart and with all your soul, and everything will align because He shows up for the ones He loves, and He loves you so, so much. See ya. Allora,